Just want to say happy birthday to Corey. I did promise him this shout out for his birthday, and I know we don't talk much anybody, but thanks for being a good friend, and I hope you're fine and stay safe. Okay, as promised, I said that I would do a campus style tour, and we have had a bit of snow. Oh god, shockingly so. I had to walk slow because the paths are very, very slippy, but can't really show you anywhere inside, unfortunately, because well, COVID rules, and most of the buildings require you to have a valid COVID test, and frankly I'm not taking another one. So the building up ahead is a Signet Wharf. It's like a more expensive accommodation, and a little bit further down in that building past the bridge is where you can get your parcels. For example, when I do the various taste tests and everything, after I've ordered the parcels, they go to that building down there. Okay, so this is a little off the main road, but we do have the river with the same bridge just over there, and quite a long walkway. I live down that way, but the gist of it is that, of course, you've seen the boat area way further down, so we're not going to be covering that area today, but we do have, of course, the river. And if you cross that way and go down that way, you have shops if you desperately need it, because it's a 24-hour shop, which is a little pricey. But yes, and in terms of our classes, most of them are on this side, but we do have a bridge over the train tracks which run through the middle of campus. So we have the Alfred Tennyson building and Minerva, where we have where we had our like film classes and script writing stuff, but of course we aren't having classes in person anymore because of COVID and government rules. So when we get to those buildings, I will continue. That big red building over there is more accommodation, I believe. Also, slightly further down, you have a cafeteria / bar. Oh god, it's slippy. But I've not been to that one yet. In terms of the buildings which I was talking about a second ago, this is Alfred Tennyson. This is where we've had our film classes. Oh my god, it's so slippy. And also further down here, I don't know what this building is at actually. I've never been inside it before. And also a little bit further up is where me and Ignite had a few drinks a few months back. The Swan, which is the on-site pub or bar or whatever you want to call it, but over here it's known as a pub. So this is probably where I frequent the most during class time anyway, when they were in session. Minerva and Signet Wharf, not Signet Wharf, Alfred Tennyson, because frankly this area is a nice square, and you have of course the boats down there which I have shown you in photos and previous videos, so we aren't going down there today. But also down there of course is where you get to a way to Nottingham City itself. It's probably the most direct way unless you want to go that way, but that takes you of course towards Sainsbury's. So yes, as I said before, Minerva is where we've had our script writing sessions, and Alfred Tennyson is where we have our film classes. So this side in general of course is more for creative. So now we're going to go across this bridge to another area. So up here, of course, we have the overhead view of this area. I believe that building over there is also more accommodation. We also have a cinema over there, but of course it is closed. So this is the bridge which me and Aaron Ignite came down on our open day. So we remember this place fondly, and as you can see, train tracks. So that is kind of cool. But as you can see, like over practically all of campus, I don't know what all of those buildings are back there, but I'll tell you at least what I know. So of course during now, like most courses have their exams. Like we as film students don't sit your typical exam. Our exams are all practical. So since like my group has done our first task and going to check it over later on today, we've been able to have a little bit of a break, which let's say has been much needed. So this area here, I have no idea what's down here in terms of buildings. I know that probably some of these are accommodation, but of course they're building over here, so I don't know what they're building, and I assume some of that up there and over that way as well is probably also accommodation, because I think one of my teammates lives up this way. Okay, so this is the area which I actually frequent a lot now, due to the fact that the library's up here. Library is normally open 24 hours a day, but due to COVID they've reduced it, like closing at about 10 every night. But even then, if you need to come in and do an essay on a laptop or a computer, you're set. This is also the street which you see in a lot of University of Lincoln adverts, because the first advert I saw had this street with a group of students walking along this same path, so it's rather interesting. I also believe this is like a medical building, I think. That's what my friend from third year music was saying to me, that this is a medical building and that it's ugly. I'm like, yeah, it's not the best looking building. I know there's also another cafe up here and a bar. Also, like further down, you have another bridge. I'm not sure where right takes you, but it's the first view in which me and Ignite had of the uni. So it's just a bit of a nostalgia from that point, because you get to see the whole front of this, which is honestly very interesting. I also come this way as well to get into the library, because what's the point in walking all the way down there, crossing the bridge, walking all the way around just to get to a library, when you can just go on the bridge up there. And this camera is so good at focusing, it will focus on my hand. What? But yes, in terms of these buildings here, many of them seem quite empty. So like these, for example, I don't know if they're accommodation, I don't know if they're classrooms. I believe this area has a gym inside of it. I'm not too sure, but it looks like it to me. And then further up here, that building ahead is the library. So there's quite a bit offered here, but of course with university in general, you're not meant to use online sources. So when you're writing up your essays, you have to use books. They do accept like online ebooks, but when I do write up my essays, I try to use physical copies. Then I can just take a reference and probably Harvard reference it. I believe this building here might be a cafe, because it has a logo on the other side. And they're still building something over here. I think it might be a seating area they're trying to build, but I'm pretty sure I'll see what it'll be like when it's done, because of course I'm here for another 2 years. So love it here, honestly. This building is quite interesting because it's also got like artwork on the sides, like a 1920s photo style. So yeah, it is pretty interesting, and a lot of people alongside Minerva and also down here, skateboard is like a popular thing down here for some reason. You always see somebody skateboarding, and as I said, there is a massive logo there for another cafe. Lincoln also does a takeout service for themselves, so yeah, it is pretty interesting. And there you have the library. Of course, you need your car to enter, so that's why we can't enter it currently, because I don't have my card or my face mask, so that doesn't really help. Yeah, so the library is actually bigger than it looks. It actually has 3 floors. I'm normally on the first or second, just writing away or doing research. So this is the bridge over here. I think this is where we first crossed as well, when we couldn't find where we were meant to go. I still don't know where we went to this day, if I'm honest. I think it might have been that building, which is also another cafe. Well, at least part of it is. So I don't know. But I do remember walking along here. But yes, this part of the library and that little jut over there, that little interesting styled building, is the first view me and Ignite had of university. So it is a pretty interesting area in terms of the architecture as well, because this is a whole like old warehouse factory type deal, I think, and of course they've just modernized it, which is very interesting. And of course we still have the river, and you actually can't see, well, you normally can see the cathedral from here, but it's all misted out due to it being, well, I'm not cold, but it's because I've got extreme cold tolerance, so I could walk around here in this weather in shorts and be fine. But yeah, so in terms of other travel clips, we probably can't do much more until COVID lifts. So this is probably going to be the most recent one. If you have any suggestions at all, let me know in the comments. I have a few places in mind, but like I said, we have to wait until it's a bit safer. So yeah, that's the gist of it, really. Like the campus itself isn't like huge. Like most of it's centered around this area, but and you get more like accommodation around here, but of course mine's way further up that way. So we're going to do one more shot from on top of the stairs where I took the photos the other day, if you've seen the Instagram post, and yeah, then we'll end this travel clip here. We'll say Lincoln is back in tier 4. I know I have mentioned it before, but of course England has that new strain, so everybody has to be careful. I only don't have my face mask on because I struggle to breathe after a while wearing it, and it's not the most good thing, to choke on your face mask. Okay, so this is also where me and Ignite also got another cool shot over the hills of Lincoln, and of course this bridge in general has a fairly interesting design. For example, the other night with those stairs, they're all lit up. I managed to focus on the handle and the rail, and it looked like there was fire behind it because of angles. So, and people thought I had actually lit a bonfire. But yes, you can. Oh gosh, you can get some interesting shots from up here, which I'm going to be doing in a second. And of course, down here you have the waterway, and the boat's further up, and that way leads you into the main city or town of Lincoln, whatever you want to call it. And cinema, poor cinema. But yes, I'm going to take some photos now, and this is where I'm also going to end the clip. So the photos will be on Instagram later on. We're also gaining followers rapidly recently, so I do thank you guys for that and the support with the photography journey. And yes, we will see you in the next clip, hopefully in 2 days. So yeah, peace guys.